Hey everyone, it's Karen with Yes Please Paper Crafts. So today I'm working on a layout for Pinkfresh Fridays, and that is a YouTube hop that's hosted by my friend 𝗬𝗵𝗶𝗺𝗺𝗃, and it's where a bunch of us scrappy YouTubers are getting together once a month to create a layout using only Pinkfresh Studio products. So please be sure and check out all of the other YouTubers that are participating in this month's hop, and I will have links to all of their videos in the description below. So for this layout, I decided to use a couple of pictures of my two little dogs. This is a picture of my dog Bella, and then this is a picture of my dog 𝗬𝗵𝗶𝗺. And I just think these pictures are super cute, and they both have red bows in their hair. So when I was going through the papers, I was looking specifically to make sure that I could pull in the color red, because other than the bow, there's really not a whole lot of color in these pictures. So that's going to be kind of the direction I'm going to take with this layout, is to make sure that I bring in some bright, fun colors. Okay, so the next thing that I'm going to show you here is the sketch that I decided to use. This is from 𝗪𝗏𝗏. It's the September Sketch Challenge. And this is a challenge that's running for the month of September from the 15th to the 29th. And I just love this sketch. And so I just decided that I would try to do something simple. It's always fun to follow a sketch because you kind of have your design already planned for you, and you don't have to really work as hard at trying to figure out how to put together your layout. And I love the sketches from 𝗪𝗏𝗏. I was on the design team with them for a while, and it was super fun, but I just got too busy to keep going with that. But 𝗬𝗵𝗶𝗺𝗃 actually does some, she's on the design team right now, and she does some awesome layouts. So y'all should definitely go and check out Joanne's channel. And if you want even more inspiration for using this sketch, there's going to be a whole design team of people. I think it's 10 different people, and they will be posting those layouts on the on this 𝗪𝗏𝗏. I'll put a link in the description below to where you can find the 𝗪𝗏𝗏 blog. And if you want to join in on the challenge, or you just want to get ideas for how you can use this sketch, you should definitely check that out. Okay, so the first paper that I have here is from the collection called 𝗬𝗵𝗿𝗽, and I like that this had some red in it, and I'm going to use this paper to create the banner that's going to go across the middle of the page. So that was the start for the selection of papers that I have here, and so I'm going to use that for the banner. And that was probably as far as I got. I did pull some additional papers out, and I haven't figured out exactly what other papers that I'm going to use here, but I need to find something for the background, and I also want to find something for this large banner piece. I'm not sure I'm going to put this circular element here. I might just put the banner coming down and then put some kind of embellishment here. I think I'll maybe just put a cluster, an embellishment cluster right there. I'm going to use this space down here for my title, and I am going to use my Cricut to create my title. So this layout is going to be the first scrapbook layout in an album that I'm creating for my two dogs. And so my title is going to be My Yorkie Girls, because that's the name of their YouTube channel. So they have their own YouTube channel where I post little videos of them. So if you're interested in that, I'll put a link to their channel in the description below. But the name of their channel is My Yorkie Girls, and so that's what I'm going to title this page. Okay, so I did think about maybe using this paper as my background, but I'm not sure. It might be a little bit too busy. And this comes from a Christmas collection. It's from the 𝗬𝗵𝗶𝗺 collection. But it's a paper that has a little bit of red, light blue, dark blue, and green, and then a gold color. And I just thought that would be maybe a fun paper to use. I also have this really pretty red paper. This comes from the Everyday Musings collection. One of the things that's really awesome about Pinkfresh Studio is that they carry the colors through from one collection to another, so you can really mix and match the different papers from all the different collections to create your layout. And then also, when you have a collection, like even this Christmas collection, a lot of times the B side of the paper is something that you could use for, you wouldn't have to use it for Christmas, you could use it for any type of layout. So I really do love that, that Pinkfresh Studio does that, and that they actually bring their colors from all the different collections. So you can see here that this is a paper from Keeping It Real, and it's got a lot of pinks and purples on this side. but then this side has that really pretty blue. And so I did think about maybe using a blue paper as my background. And so I pulled together some different papers from different collections here. This one is another one from the Christmas collection, Oh What Fun. And then we have this paper here, which is kind of like a grid paper from the Office Hours collection. Okay, then I have this paper, which is kind of more of an aqua, and this is from the Keeping It Real. And then the last paper that I have here is from the Noteworthy collection. And so those were the different papers that I thought about possibly using as my background. And I really love this paper with the grid, and I think that's really, really pretty. I love the blue and the red together with these pictures. I think that's going to work really well. So that's about as far as I got with planning out my layout. Now I can't scrap and talk at the same time, so I'm going to be speeding this up and then doing a voiceover later. But let's go ahead and get started. So this turned out to be a really fun layout to create, and I love the sketches from scrapbook-blogspot.com. And if you have never checked out their website, you should definitely go over there and take a look, because they have tons and tons of sketches, and they also have layouts that are created every month that you can look at those layouts and get ideas and inspiration for how you can use those sketches to create your own layouts. And I just think it's a lot of fun. You can also win prizes. They do have a monthly prize. They will pick a winner at the end of the month. And so, yeah, it's really a lot of fun to participate in the challenge. And if you don't want to do the challenge, you can still go out there and get their free sketches. And yeah, I think their sketches are awesome. Okay, so here I'm just going to go ahead and start picking out my papers. I decided to go ahead and use this red floral paper. I just think that's super pretty. I'm also going to use a white cardstock as my background, and then I'm going to take that blue and white check paper, and I'm going to use it to map my layout. I'm also going to use it for one of the banners that's going to be on my layout. Now here you see me using the Creative Memories 12-inch paper trimmer, and this is the most awesome paper trimmer. And I've used a lot of different paper trimmers over the years, and this has got to be my favorite ever. It's super easy to use. It cuts really good. I haven't had to replace the blade since I purchased it, which was back in December of 2019, and I use it all the time. So it's really awesome. I did have to replace the mat that goes, that gray mat that's underneath the cutting area. That you can use 4 times and then it has to be replaced. I have replaced that a couple times, but the blade is still just as sharp as it was the day I got it. And it really cuts well, and I just love using it. Okay, so I wanted to map my photos, and I'm looking for some paper to use to do that. And I tried out a couple of different papers. I did think about bringing in more yellow, and that paper was just super bright, and so instead I'm going to use this pink and red check. And I really love the way that the matting came out. It was very subtle, but it just really gave a little bit more separation between the photos and the background. Okay, so now that I have that, I'm going to work on my title. I decided to use my Cricut, and I just went over to Cricut Design Space and I typed my title in, and then I went over to the menu where you can choose your fonts, and I looked through the different fonts and I found one that I thought was really cute. And I decided to use 2 different fonts because I think that's really cool when you can use multiple fonts. It gives more interest to your layout. And I decided to separate it into 3 words. The other thing that I decided to do for my title was to connect all 3 of these words together. But first I'm going to change the font for the word Yorkie. And one of the things that I think is really cute is when you use a very bold and plain font for one of your words and then use a scripty font for some of the other words. And so I'm going to connect these 3 words together by making them touch in a couple of places. And then once I have the position of where I have everything where I like it, I'm just going to go ahead and weld it together in the Cricut Design Space software, and it's going to turn it into one piece that I can cut out with my Cricut. Now I thought it was going to be one piece. It actually turned into a couple of different pieces because the word Yorkie that word, those letters are separate anyway. It still wasn't too difficult to put that title together once I had created it. And I did cut it out multiple times. I think I cut it out 4 times, and I layered one on top of the other so that I could create almost like a faux chipboard. Now, if you're interested in seeing how I created this title with my Cricut, I will be creating a Cricut tutorial on how I did that. So stay tuned. I'll be having that up on my channel sometime soon, probably within the next couple weeks. So yeah, stay tuned for that. Okay, so the next thing that I'm going to do is work on my banner. I'm using this paper. This is from 𝗂𝗄𝗄𝗃, and I'm just going to take these little squares and a punch that I have from Stampin' Up. I think it's called the Penance Punch, and I'm going to use that punch to punch out a bunch of little triangles. Now, one of the things that I found out once I punched out all of my triangles was that those triangles, although they looked small, once I had them across the layout and into my banner, it was just really taking up too much space on my layout. And so I'm going to go back later and cut all of those triangles down and make them smaller. And I really think that that worked out so much better. Okay, so here's where I'm gluing another layer onto my title. And the way I do this is I just take some liquid glue. In this case, I'm using the Barely Art glue. And I'll just add some glue to the top of the letter and then add another layer on there. And you can see that it creates a really thick chipboard. Okay, so now I'm trying to figure out what to do because that paper right there is not long enough. And I wanted my title to go across that blue banner. So I went ahead and cut that banner in half because it's going to be covered up by the pictures anyway. And so that way I can make my title go across the banner there at the bottom, and it has enough room to make it all the way onto that banner. And then this kind of led me into kind of another problem with this layout. I think in the sketch, that blue banner, that piece that I have there, was in the middle of the red paper. And I put the banner closer underneath the title because I didn't want my red title on top of the red paper. And so I did struggle a little bit with this and trying to figure out how I was going to make this work because I wasn't following the sketch. So sketches are really awesome, especially when you can follow them and just do exactly what the sketch has. It's super simple, but when you start to deviate from the sketch or you introduce an element like I did here with a larger title, then you have to start adjusting things. It can get a little complicated, but I was able to eventually figure out how to fix it, and I just added another piece of paper and made another banner, and then I also turned that red paper into a banner, and I thought that worked out really well. Okay, so I decided to take some crochet thread and use that to make my banners. I love adding thread and twine to my layout because it adds a different texture, and I think it's just a really fun element to have on a layout. Okay, so here's where I am trying to create a third banner, and I was trying to decide between the green paper and this yellow and white check paper, and I thought that the green paper just blended a little bit better with the papers that I had there, and I think the yellow and white check was just a little bit too busy. I did want to put more yellow in my layout, and I'm going to bring more yellow in with some embellishments. Okay, so I'm just going to take this paper and turn it into a banner, and I am going to cut it in half just like I did with the blue banner. I want to make it a little bit longer, and you're not going to see the gap because the pictures are going to cover that up. And so I just went ahead and I tried it out, and I didn't think it was down far enough onto the layout, and so I'm going to just go ahead and make it bigger, taller. Okay, so once I have all of that done, I am going to work on the words that are on the left-hand side of the layout and also adding the banners. But I did lose a little bit of my video footage. My phone stopped recording and I didn't notice it, but I did eventually get it turned back on. And so I do have a little bit at the very end, and I also have some close-ups of this layout. So if y'all want to see the close-ups, stick around to the end. So unfortunately, I don't have a video clip of my 2 dogs for this video, but if y'all want to watch their videos, please go ahead and check out their channel, which is My Yorkie Girls. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and just add on some enamel dots, and I added yellow, pink, and blue in 3 different places, and I just thought that was super cute. And then something else that I added to my layout was I added staples to the crochet thread, and I wanted to show that in the video, but I lost that video footage as well, or maybe it didn't even record, but I couldn't find it. And I got that tip from 𝗪𝗵𝗶𝗺𝗀𝗃. She has a video on her YouTube channel where she shows how to use the 𝗕𝗵𝗿𝗄 tiny attacher stapler and staple in the middle of your page. So if you're interested in finding out how to do that, I'll put a link to her video in the description below. Okay, so y'all be sure and go check out all of the other YouTubers who are participating in this hop, and go and subscribe to their channel and like their videos. That would be super awesome. So unfortunately, I don't have a video clip of my 2 dogs, Bella and 𝗬𝗵𝗶𝗆, to add at the end of this video. But if y'all are missing them and you want to go and watch their videos, go over to their YouTube channel, which is My Yorkie Girls, and you can watch their videos there. Okay, so that's all I have. Y'all take care. Hope y'all have an awesome weekend, and I hope to see you next time. Bye now.